Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm standing in front of a 2025 Ford Raptor with the 37 performance package. You know how I love Raptors. I own a 22, so we're going to take a look at this, see what has changed from mine. I'm going to mainly point out some of the differences, and then we're going to give it a drive, give it the business, and see how good it drives. And I can't wait to find out about the dual live shocks that this thing has in the back. So come on, let's go. At one point, this was the king of all trucks. Now it's not the king, the Raptor R is the king. However, this is definitely a good king's brother or prince of trucks now. So what has changed between 22 and 25? One of the first things I notice is the amber lighting right here going into this shape. Headlights are the same, but you have this right here, which is completely different, and I think it looks really good. Also, one thing to notice is the Ford emblem here. It's textured now, which I think looks really good as well. And mine is just the, it's the smooth, which it looks fine, but I think this looks really good. Also, on this, you have the modular bumper. And you say, well, what's a modular bumper? Well, basically what this does is it allows you to easily put a winch or any other accessories on it, so you can make it more off-road capable and things like that. Of course, you got your tow hooks here, you got your fog lights here. Those are all still the same. Now, one of my peeves is that this is a blacked out Ford Raptor, black paint, black everything, looks sharp, looks amazing. What the hell is this? Come on, Ford. Either make this more of a color to go with black, or paint it black. But this skid plate and bumper going under here doesn't need to be this light silver or whatever it is color. It just doesn't even go. Like, it needs to blend in with the truck. It's my personal opinion. It's above my pay grade to make that decision, but it is what it is. So coming around to the side, pretty much everything is close to the same. Now, this does have the graphics package, and the graphics package is different than what it was with mine. I had the orange stickers removed, left the black Ford Performance on the sides to go with the silver, but these actually look a lot better than what they did on mine. So I do like this, and you'll see that back on the quarter panel as well. Coming around here, this is the 37 package. So you have the BFGoodrich KO2s all-terrains, which is a great factory tire. I never had any issues with it. It rides great, it sounds great, but these are the 37 inches. And underneath here, you see the multi-link suspension. And of course, this is the live valve Fox shocks that you'll get a better picture of here in a little bit. You can't really see it in the front, but you'll see it here in a minute. Coming around to the side, it's typical Raptor stuff. You got body color rear view mirrors, body color handles. You got your Ford step-up rails here. Pretty standard stuff. Coming back here is where the graphics package changes again. And I definitely think this looks better than the other. Yes, it's the orange, but it goes with this black. If I had a silver truck, I probably would remove it. But going with the black or going with the dark carbon gray metallic, this actually looks really good, and I would keep it so everybody knew that you had a Raptor. Now, coming under here is what we're talking about. Here you got the dual valve live Fox shocks. Now, these are active in both compression and extension. So basically, it reads when you jump it, it reads when it goes into extension as the tires start coming down, and then it continues reading and adjusts as you land, and it goes into compression. Can you tell the difference on the street? We will find out when we get to the driving section. I don't think you will quite as much. I think you need to take this off-roading with a standard Raptor and compare the two to see the difference. However, it's nice to have that capability, and it looks pretty cool underneath. Another thing I have an issue with is metal. For a vehicle like this, it should come with wheel well liners. They're only about $100 or $120, so yes, I went and had mine installed after the fact, and most people do that as well. I personally think they should come from factory with the wheel well liners. It's just a better look, in my opinion. Coming around to the back, here's another difference. The rear lamps have changed, and if you look at this, it kind of looks like an F, in my opinion. So it already says basically an F for Ford back here. And of course you got Ford written across here. And so I do like the changes that they've made. I think they're really good. I think it adds to the aesthetics of the truck itself. Coming back around here, of course you got the Ford plaque here, and it's the same thing as the front. It's got the textured on here instead of just the smooth. And like I said, it's a really good look. This does come with a bed liner. Of course you got your tow hooks in the back, and you have your 3.5-inch exhaust, and y'all will be able to hear that in a little bit with the B-roll. And before anybody starts dropping comments about it's not a V8, it still sounds like, yes, it's not a V8. It's not the Raptor R. However, for a factory exhaust that you can adjust from pure silence to Baja mode and anywhere in between, it sounds good. Does it sound like a Nissan GTR? Absolutely. Does a Nissan GTR sound bad? Absolutely not. This sounds great for what it is, V6. And if that's that much of an issue with it, go get an AWE exhaust like I did, and it'll sound a lot better. So there's always options to upgrade it and get it the way you like. Now, let's go and check out the front interior. Okay, sitting in the front, we're not reviewing the back. It is what it is. It's the back seat of an F-150. There's a lot of room. It's nice. It's got heated seats. But I want to point out some of the differences up here in the front. And they're mainly cosmetic, but they did a really good job with it. So, starting off, you got red stitching on the steering wheel that I don't have on mine. Of course, you got Raptor here, and the racing marker is black now, and in mine it's orange. I don't know why they decided to switch this to black. I know this is that way on the Raptor R as well. Another thing I've noticed while here is you got red stitching on the gear shift, which I think is a good look. You got F-Series right here, which I just now actually noticed while we were filming. And that is definitely not on mine. Of course, you got the orange stitching going up through the top. And another thing I noticed too is the carbon fiber pattern is different. It looks a lot better. It doesn't look as plasticky, and it looks like the actual carbon fiber weave. So, pan right here, you can see how it looks, and that's pretty much where, you know, wherever you see carbon fiber, that's the pattern it's going to look. Okay, some of the other differences I've noticed is with the digital display. The graphics on this are a lot better than on mine. I don't have the option to get this type of display on mine. And I've also noticed too that, you know, of course it has a heads-up display as well that you can, you know, brightness, let's see here. Oh my God, this thing is awesome. Let's see, vertical content. Drive mode layout, that's what we want. We don't want normal. Let's see, you got off-road, Baja. We're gonna set it on Baja. So you see the RPMs, you see the miles per hour. It looks sharp. But the key thing here is the graphics. And I've noticed too, so one of my pet peeves with Ford is that you're in a racing Baja truck in a performance vehicle. But you don't, Ford didn't really offer a lot when it came to performance readings, if you will. You had the standard, you know, you could see what your turbo boost was, you could see, you know, what your intake temperature is and stuff. But I think on this one they've actually changed up some stuff to where, let's see here, let me go to menu, where they do give you the option of a little bit more like performance view. You know, that's the performance view. You got your RPMs in the big wheel, tells you what drive you're in, tells you what gear you're in, then your miles per hour. It also gives you what your level is, your pitch and your roll, your boost, everything else. So it's still not quite as good as what's in a TRX or an RHO, but it's getting better, and it looks a hell of a lot better. The colors change more. It looks a lot better than what's in mine. And honestly, that's one of the things I really wanted to, one of the reasons why I really wanted a 24 or 25. And of course, over here on the infotainment center, it's your same stuff. Trail turn assist, onboard power, zone lighting, all the goodies. You know, it looks like it has changed a little bit from what I'm used to. Let's see here, zone lighting, board dash, there's your off-road readings, navigation, let's see here, fun, trip, fuel economy, and that looks a little bit different. But overall, yeah, I actually like the aesthetic improvements they made on the interior, especially with the display cluster. So let's crack open the hood and talk about the 3.5 liter EcoBoost. Okay, this is an engine that everybody knows and that Ford has been putting in now for damn near 10 years. It's the 3.5 liter EcoBoost turbocharged V6 engine, 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque. So by itself, it is a very powerful and capable engine. Have no issues with it whatsoever. I mean, this truck is designed for Baja racing through the desert and high-speed off-roading. Now, that being said, a lot of tuners, including HP tuners and different things, have cracked the ECU. So now, with a cracked ECU, you can tune this from the comforts of your cab without having to crack open the ECU and basically tune this to whatever you want. From factory, this will run an E50 mixture, which will give you between 120 and 150 horsepower. So this truck is capable, and this engine is capable of producing a lot more power, is my point. So if you want it to get faster, if you want it to be close to running to like a Raptor R, then obviously you can tune the engine, you can run variable fuel grades, and of course, if you want to change the exhaust, you can go to aftermarket exhaust people like AWE, like I did, put a performance exhaust on it, and it sounds absolutely great. So overall, it's a great engine, great capability, and it does feel good from factory. Now, I'm not going to knock it from not feeling good at factory. It absolutely does. So, all right, with that being said, there's only one thing left to do. Let's take it for a drive. All right, everybody. We looked at the outside, we looked at the inside, saw what the differences were. Now it's time to drive. So this is the 450 horsepower EcoBoost with 510 pound-feet of torque. But like I was saying in my review, the new displays and the new graphics are awesome. Like, look at this right here. This is the sport setting. So my gauges and stuff on my 22 don't change depending on what mode I am. The color changes, but not what you see. So over here, you got your transmission temperature, you got your turbo boost reading, you got your air inlet temperature, you got your miles to empty. In the center, you got a massive RPM, tells you what drive you're in, tells you what your speedometer is, lets you know what gear you're in. And then over to the right, you have your, your tire pressure, but you can also change that, I think, to show your pitch, yaw, up, down, like off-road settings. Now, directly to the front, I don't know if the camera will pick this up. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me do this in real time. Heads-up display. I adjusted the heads-up display to be on Baja mode, so you see a horizontal bar going across for the RPM settings and the miles per hour. Let's see, drive mode layout. See, I'm in Baja. They don't have a sport one, but Baja is just as good. And I'm going to raise it up. So I'm hoping when I raise it up that the camera will pick it up a little bit as well. Brightness. Okay, got it as bright as it'll go. So hopefully it's in the position where y'all can see it, but not too high that I will wreck, because it'll distract me, and it's bright enough that the camera will pick it up. So let's get out of, let me go back to my view. All right, performance view, perfect. Let's get out of here and give this the business a little bit, since we're in a parking garage in Tijuana, Mexico. And one thing I will say, whether you go underneath an overpass or you're in a parking garage and you're in a Raptor or a car with a V8 or a truck with a V8, give it some gas, because these things sound amazing either under going under an overpass, a tunnel, or in a parking garage. So we are in sport mode with Baja exhaust. I won't change it out. I know how this drives in sport mode. But when you're in comfort mode or normal mode with the shocks, I'll put this ride up against any Cadillac on the road any day. Even in sport mode, yes, it's stiffer, but with these 37s, it still soaks them up. We just went over a speed bump back there, and it was just like, just a little doo-doo, and that was it. Like, you don't feel anything in this damn thing. So with this being the 37 package, I think the MSRP, and I could be wrong, but this is based off all the Raptor prices I see, it's probably sitting around $90,000 or $91,000 on the performance package, whereas the Raptor on the 35 package, I think, is sitting around 82 or 83. Do the 37s make that much of a difference, or I don't know. I like the way they look. I like the little bit more of elevation you get than the common 35 Raptor. And if you get the 37 Raptor, you get the dual valve live shocks versus the single valve live shocks, which comes on the 35s. Now, does that make a difference on the interstate doing 80 or driving around town doing 50, 45 or 50? I don't know. Or is it more of a difference if we're actually going to take this off-roading, which I don't think Stivers Ford will allow me to take this off-roading. Or will you feel more of the difference there? I'm thinking more of the difference off-roading and doing jumps, but, at least you have that capability if you want it. I'm not here to say which is better and which you should get based on the price, because everybody's got their own personal opinion on that, because people have been buying 37 packages forever versus the 35s, and I think the resale value on the 37 package is actually higher than it is on the 35. But that being said, and everybody's gonna be like, well, it's not a Raptor R, or it only has 450 horsepower. This engine is capable of massive amounts of power. Same engine that's in mine, and with a few grand of conversions and some tuning, I'm pushing close to 600 rear horsepower right now. So the capability is there to make this as powerful as you want it and get it damn near, if not above, what a Raptor R would be. And you can always change the exhaust, which I've never had an issue with this exhaust. AWE sponsored me, and so AWE sponsored me, and so I put their exhaust on mine, and it sounds absolutely amazing, but you don't have to. The Baja mode exhaust here, to me, sounds really good, especially coming from a V6. Definitely sounds better than the standard Ram RHO exhaust. Heads and tails above that one. But at the end of the day, this is if you just leave it stock, this is a fully capable truck that will take you anywhere, pretty much do anything, as long as it will fit. A lot of trails it won't go down, not because it can't, but because it's just too damn wide. It's not a Jeep. So, and let's be honest here, this thing would eat Jeeps for breakfast, but that's neither here nor there. So it's definitely not a Jeep, but just driving it off the showroom, this thing will pretty much do whatever you want it to, and it's still got plenty of power. 5.2 in a 0 to 60 for this size of a truck that sits up this high. Definitely fast enough for most people. Fortunately for me, I'm not most people, so that's why mine's doctored up with E50. Do we think it would make good video footage if I challenged the Homewood Police Department to like a drag race? think that would go viral? I think that would go viral. I'm gonna pull up next to him and roll the window down, and you ask him.
Okay.
I'll let.
I like that.
He'll probably say yes more to you than he would for me. We're not going to do a 0 to 60 pull because this is a new vehicle with 140 miles, so it's not even broken in yet. But I was able to take some really good B-roll footage, taking off, going around curves, getting a little squirrely with the tires. So, and when you give it gas like that, I don't care what anybody says, that exhaust does sound good. For a V6, it sounds really good. And this thing drives amazing. I do think the 37s soak up more of the bumps on the road than my 35. Not my 35 doesn't, because those are big tires in their own right. But I think these 37s do more of it, do a better job of it. It just insulates you a little bit more. Like I said, I'm in sport suspension, and it's comfortable as all hell. It's not jarring, it's not anything like that. So, all right, we are headed back to the dealership, and we will wrap it up there. There you have it, everybody, the 2025 Ford Raptor. We went over the changes, how it differs from the 22 and 23 models, gave it a drive, had some good fun with it in the parking lot, and it was a great time. And everybody knows how I personally feel about Raptors. Special shout out to my friends here at Stivers Ford in Birmingham. I want to put their website in the description, put a link down there with their telephone number. Remember to give them a call if you're interested, whether you're interested in this Raptor, if you're interested in any Black Widows, Broncos, Trimmers, whatever you want, they'll get it for you. And remember, you catch yourselves on the back roads of Tijuana and you have a fun car or truck to drive, go ahead and give it the business and have a good time with it like we did today. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.